So we are live. Hi everyone. Thank
Hi
you, Chloe,
everybody.
for joining us. I will launch the live on Instagram. I hope that time it will work because, yeah, 2 weeks ago with Steve Cortica, it didn't want to connect, and
Oh no.
yeah, and it did. I think it's my phone because it doesn't want to do it now either. So
Oh no.
yeah, maybe I should have tried before going to live. Okay, so we can just stay on YouTube and Facebook because oh, it's work. No, it's not. Okay.
Let's see. Oh, I see the
Okay.
live button
Yeah, I
for
think
the.
I'm live now. Yeah.
Yay.
Okay. So now it's working.
Okay, great. Oh, okay. So I think it's just your face,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah. So you can.
there
Uh,
we go. Wait.
you can ask
There we
to
go. Yeah,
participate.
I did. Let's see. I sent a request.
Yeah. Did you receive the?
Yep. Let's see.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice.
Hey, let's see. Yeah, perfect. Hi
So
everybody.
hi everyone, and on Instagram, and hi everyone here in YouTube and Facebook. So we are really happy to have you tonight. Maybe you can just pull off the sound of your phone so we don't have the echo.
Oh yeah. I don't know how to. It's not letting me completely mute the
Yeah,
phone.
yeah, I think now it
Unfortunately.
seems okay.
Okay. Aha. There we go.
So
Oh no, there is a little bit of an echo still. Hmm. Let me see if I can find something to plug that in.
yeah,
Yeah.
technical problems.
Technical problems. One moment. Let me see if I have something.
So while you are waiting for Chloe, maybe you have some questions for me. Last time, some people had some questions, so feel free to ask, and I will answer them. I don't have anything now, so uh, I won't. No, I won't sing you a song. I think it's a bad idea.
I think it's a great idea. No, that's not going to do anything. Sorry. 1 second.
Oh, hi, Tony. How are you?
Let me see. Sorry. Hi guys. Is it still echoing? I think.
So I will answer Steve's question first, and then you can tell us also. My favorite mouthpiece color is I like the coral neon. I don't know if I have some. Oh yeah, here. I like it. It's nice. Hi, Mr. Saxman. How are you? Then people will say, it's two ladies and they have technical issues.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah, I
auto
think
put it.
it's
Yay,
yeah,
we
it's
fixed it.
working now.
Sorry. All
Great.
right.
Okay, nice. So yeah, so I have a few questions for you, and please, people, if you have some questions, also feel free to ask. We will try to answer to everybody.
Yes.
So yeah, my first question was like, you have been a musician and a singer for like 15 years now. So what drew you to music in the first place?
Oh yeah, so I first got really introduced to music through swing dancing. My parents were swing dancers, and I really loved that music. But I really didn't pursue it until elementary school band, which when they put everybody in band to see how much you like it, and I just really took to that. And I first started on alto sax, and then a few years later, clarinet would come along, and those have been my main two pretty much ever since then. And yeah, I've been working professionally since I was about 15, and have been touring. Well, have been touring professionally for about 8 years now. So.
Yeah. So how do you feel now that we cannot tour anymore?
It's definitely a change. Before this, it was constantly being on planes and constantly being in motion and in a car. It's been kind of nice to have a breather, to be honest, just, because it was kind of all go, go, go. So it's been nice to kind of sit down and relax a little bit, from not having to be on planes and trains and automobiles. But um, yeah, definitely a change. Uh, it's
Yeah, I
what it
can
is.
imagine. Yeah, so what have you so what do you do during this like free times? What's your focus?
I've been doing a lot of song request videos. I've been doing and just recordings with different groups. Obviously, everybody who's done recording in the pandemic, it's been through either a cappella or that. But I've also done multiple albums and virtual concerts and a lot of song request videos, which has been really nice. People have been very sweet and very generous. So that's been a nice way to kind of help, um, help fulfill the music role in my life.
Yeah.
Because
So
yeah, it was just completely gone in a week, which is wild.
yeah, it's crazy. So
Yeah.
where can we go for the song request?
Oh, you can go to my Facebook or Instagram, or I have a little picture that says where to request them and how to access them. But yeah, it's been fun. I have done a whole bunch of songs I never thought I would do. So it's been a
What was the craziest one?
I think it would be Who Let the Dogs Out? Which
Can,
is not.
can you play it a little bit now?
No, I haven't done it in months.
Okay.
And
Okay,
unfortunately.
I will go check on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been an interesting way to I definitely never thought I would have to do a lot of accompaniment, because I'm used to being a horn player and not having to sing and accompany myself. So that's been a
Hmm.
new challenge during the pandemic. Which yeah, there's a lot of work in that realm as well. Because I'm so used to just adding, horn parts over everything else that nope, got to do it all.
Yeah. So when did you decide to make the switch? So you are playing ukulele on those songs, right?
Yes, my company instrument of choice is uke, just because that was what I was most comfortable with. I don't really know how to play guitar, and my piano skills are very, very small. I haven't played that since college, really. Yeah, so it's you can voice, and then I put clarinet or saxophone or both over them, depending on the person's request.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's been luckily nothing too, um, luckily not too many instruments over one video. I do know a few people who've done 10 different instruments in a video because they
Yeah.
can, and it's so fun to see. I don't have I don't have enough saxes with me here.
Yeah. Okay. We have a question from Benoit. He said, if you have a chance, will you come to Montreal Jazz Festival?
Yes, that would be great. I would love
Yeah.
to. I've been
It's
to Montreal before. I love it. It's beautiful.
yeah,
Um,
it's a nice city.
yeah, it's a really nice city, and I played at a festival. I don't think it was the jazz festival, but I have played in Montreal a few times with different groups, and would love to if once the world's a bit safer to travel again. Absolutely.
Yeah, I actually was because actually I started to think about Syos in Montreal. It's where I got the
Ooh,
idea. Yeah,
good
yeah,
idea.
I was working at McGill University there and working on saxophone mouthpieces, and that's where I got the whole idea. And when I was not working at the lab, I was writing for a website specialized on culture, and I did cover the Montreal Jazz Festival. Did
That's
write a lot
awesome.
of articles, so that was nice.
That's really
Yeah,
cool. That's did you go to school? Or you were just working in the university, or did you go to school there for a little bit, or
I was working. It was
you were
just after my PhD, so that's what we call like the postdoc, and yeah,
nice. Oh, that's
for your
awesome.
1 year.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great. So you know Montreal very well then.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, so the question was not for me, but yeah, still.
Okay.
Uh, So Jake is asking, do you
Aw.
have plans for another PMG song anytime soon?
Unfortunately, nothing at the moment, just because pandemic-wise, the company, I believe, has just been keeping it in, like, very just doing videos with Scott and Sunny, um, who are the two main people. Uh,
Okay.
and so unfortunately, no PMJ song anytime soon, but just keep an eye out. All of us are just uh hunkering down and seeing when all that can happen again. So yeah, when the pandemic hit, I was on a PMJ tour, and we were having some new stuff and new songs, and it was really fun, and we were having a great time. So hopefully we can get back to that soon.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to ask about the PMG. What was your favorite covers with the band?
Oh man, so I've only led 3 of them, and then I've been a part of 2 other videos as well. Uh, my favorite one that I've done has been Dancing with Myself by Billy Idol, which is really fun.
Hmm.
I had to learn some choreography, and I was dancing with the clarinet, and uh, and just like I love Billy Idol, so it was really fun to cover that, and I was able to do it for a little bit on that recent tour, and it's the video itself was filmed in black and white, so it's really
Hmm.
cool, and it was in this like really beautiful mansion, and yeah, that was fun. It was fun to do from start to finish. So yeah, but
Great.
there's a whole bunch of videos out there, and some of the live songs are really fun too. That were videos, but um, we do live and they change, and it's really fun.
Yeah, it's and yeah, I've seen. I was watching the no. I'm a big Radiohead fan, so
Yay!
and yeah, so you eat more than 3 million views now. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy. Oh, it's
Yeah.
absolutely crazy, and that's through the PMJ. Like PMJ is really good with a wide audience, so
Hmm.
that's definitely one of the highlights of the company. And yeah, it's been, that was fun to make too. I was definitely very nervous because it was my first one, and there's this giant camera in your face the entire time.
Yeah.
And but that was fun. That's the song I do the most on tour is No Surprises, and
Okay.
I've been able to do that a lot. And it's a beautiful song. I'm just very happy to be able to do a beautiful song, and a song that had some interesting lyrics in it during a time that was kind of crazy for stuff in America as well. So that was fun
Mhm.
too, to kind of just go around singing about that. So
Yeah, so it's actually through the PMJ band that you discovered Syos, right?
yeah. So fellow bandmate and friend Andy Cox, he has a wonderful relationship with SYOS, and he's like, you should check out this company. It's awesome. I'm like, great, I will. And yeah, and that's how I got introduced. He has a great mouthpiece that actually got to play on a different tour. I also toured a little bit with a group called Asleep at the Wheel, and we played at Leeds. We played through Leeds, which is where he's based in, and he let me borrow his mouthpiece for the show, and it was really fun. It was really great. It felt great to play on, and he has a bright green mouthpiece, which is also just fun to have to have during a show, because like all the lights just shines on the color of it, and it's fun. But yeah, I got to play it during the show, and yeah, that's how I got introduced to SIOS in general. And yeah, very happy I met Pauline.
Yeah. Yeah, so then he actually put us in touch, and it was at the time where I had to go to New Orleans
Yeah.
for a conference, and then we met there, and you helped me with the booth at the conference, so that was
Yeah.
nice also.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a really interesting experience because I really haven't had to do any uh, booth sales ever at a jazz conference, and it was trying to keep track of everything was definitely tricky on my end, but that's just because I didn't know, like, I was new to everything.
Yeah,
But it was
it's
fun. It
just,
was fun to see
mm,
people like try out all the mouthpieces and see what ones that people gravitate toward. And I also got to try out a bunch of mouthpieces too, so that was really fun. Um, and yeah, it was a great experience. I got to help out at the Gen conference. Yeah.
yeah, we have a question on Instagram. Say, are you still in touch with Pokey Lafarge?
No, unfortunately, we're not really in touch anymore. The band is, though. The band itself is, but Pokey kind of went on his own way, so we don't really keep in touch very much. But I had a great time touring. It was a really fun 3 years. For Pokey fans, you know that we did a whole bunch in the time that we toured together. We did the Letterman show, we did Grand Ole Opry, we did Garrison Keillor's Prairie Home Companion, we did a documentary for Jack White. Like, we did all sorts of really fun stuff, and tons of festivals. That's actually where we one of the multiple Montreal gigs was with that band. So we had a great time.
What's your best memory from all those years?
Oh man, there's so many, so many. It's hard to say because I mean, it's like, of course, all the big fun moments, but there's a bunch of little moments as well on tour that happen, like, silly shenanigans that you get up to. I think there was one time somewhere, it's a fun story. I think at one time at this tiny little festival in Kentucky, there was a guy who owned a golf cart, and he lent it to me, and I ended up taking a bunch of drunk musicians through a drive-through on the golf cart. And we got some fries, and we just like went around this town in Kentucky, just going around in a golf cart after a set, and it was really fun. So like stuff like those are definitely my favorite. Like
Okay.
those type of stuff is my my favorite things. Yeah, it was fun.
Okay.
The fries are great.
So we have Steve who say,
Hello.
Yeah, so Chloe, I just learned about your playing today. I've been listening today and love your clarinet playing. Singing is always also great. So who is your favorite clarinet player? Who do you listen to most?
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Um, my favorite clarinet player, that is hard to pin down because there's so many out there. I will have to say that one of my favorite and most influential is a man named Ron Hockett. I don't really think he plays much anymore. But he used to be a part of the band called the Jim Cullum Jazz Band, and he was my mentor for a long while. And he's the one who actually got me into jazz clarinet. I kind of didn't want to because I was very much a classical player before, and I knew it was going to be a hard transition from classical to jazz. And I was right; it is a hard transition. But
Mm.
he really encouraged it. He's like, "No, there's a lot of great things to be had from jazz clarinet. So go and listen to all this stuff." And so he's definitely one that I listened to a lot and was just a big influence on me. And through him, I learned about Peanuts Hucko, which is a great clarinetist with the Eddie Connon band. So if you haven't checked him out, definitely check him out. I like a really clear tone, and I like a really smooth phrasing, and both of them have that, and both of them really uh, influence that and push me to do that. So yeah, hope that
Okay.
helps.
Yeah.
Of course, I like all the other ones too. Like of the two big clarinet names, I prefer Artie Shaw over Benny Goodman. And then, of course, like love Johnny Dodds and all the old clarinetists as well. So there's there's a lot of great clarinet out there if you know where to look.
Yeah. Um, so we worked with you on a signature model of your
Yeah,
mouthpiece. So can you can you tell us a little more about it? Like what what kind of sound were you searching when we work
yeah.
on the mouthpiece?
Hey, let me
Maybe
just.
you can
Uh,
play a little bit
yeah,
also.
yeah. I'll play
Yeah,
a
I
little
want to hear you.
bit. I got yeah. So I'll just play a little bit. So when I was looking for a clarinet mouthpiece, I wanted something similar to the one that I had because I still definitely have it. It's my original, the one that I've played on for many years, many years, is a Van Doren M13 lyre, and I liked the combination of the really close classical sound with the barrel that I have, which is an Acuport barrel. If you haven't really seen them before, they're not super common, but if you see how it goes in and out, they're not super common, but I love it very much because it gives a brighter sound to darker mouthpieces. And so I kind of want something in that same vein. I want something that it was easily controlled and definitely darker, and yeah, and did a great job. I love it. It's great. Um, and definitely want to say, yeah, like I said, something more focused, something more on the darker side because I prefer a more classical tone for clarinet. For my playing,
Mhm.
everybody's different. So, but just for my playing in general, I wanted something a little more darker and to keep it on that path. And yeah, I love it. I've been able to play it in a few virtual concerts and things, but I'm hoping to play this, once everything gets back to normal, out and about more.
So you didn't get the bright green like Andrew.
And no, I didn't. I went with the gray. I love colors too. I really love colors, but I think for some of the styles that I play, I just definitely fit the color
Mhm.
fit a little bit more with some of the more styles that I play. But I love the fact that Shapeon Sound has just an array of colors. It's so much fun. It's so much fun to see, and like so much fun. And, it's such a great thing to be able to choose from, to be able to pick a wide variety of stuff and pick your own stuff. It's great. I love having those options.
Yeah. Elijah is asking, so how did you take that jump from classical to jazz? Was it difficult to transition from?
Yes, and yeah, it was difficult. I'm not going to deny that at all. I have taught classical players before, and the hardest part is knowing how to feel the music. Like I don't know how else to describe it. It just comes with mimicking and listening and playing along with records. I just remember one day it was clicking, but one day it just clicked, and you can kind of feel it. It's being able to, as a classical player, being able to just let go, and being able to to let go, and to realize that not everything has to be exactly articulate and exactly correct, and what you're seeing on the page is not exactly what people are playing, and that's a hard transition as well, because you're so used to like, oh, the music in front of me is law, and that is what we play. But for jazz, it's like, mess around with it. It's just a guideline. But yeah, definitely the hardest part is getting the feel from classical to jazz. It's very difficult. Not to be discouraging or anything, but it is like it's definitely a hard challenge to do. I do recommend it, because I will say that I haven't really played a lot of classical since then, but the times I have dipped back into it and stuff, the technique you learn in classical goes a very long way for jazz, especially for clarinet, because the more that you know the clarinet, the easier it is the easier it will be to improvise over the instrument, because the instrument needs a lot of control in order to make it sound decent, and to be able to transition from the lower and higher registers, because ours aren't just like a octave key, like for clarinet it's not, you press the button, it's the same note. No, it's a completely different note once you press that octave key, and there's like the break patterns with the pinkies, and it's just, the more that you know your instrument, and classical really helps you get to know that instrument, like the foundations of it, and then jazz takes you all over the instrument. I hope that helps.
Yeah, I think it's Jeff is saying that it's perfect
Hi,
answer.
Jeff. Jeff is an awesome clarinetist as well. He's from LA. Hi, Jeff.
Okay. So we have a question from Francois. He asks, do you still play your fantastic C melody Bücher like in Spotted Cat videos?
Ooh. I'm sorry. I can read the question as well, because Pauline has been putting them up. I do still have it, and I have not tried a Syos mouthpiece on it, just mainly because I've focused the mouthpieces on the clarinet than the saxophones that I have. But I still have it. I haven't played it very much, obviously, since the pandemic. But when I was touring with Pokey Lafarge, that was my main saxophone, was the C melody, because it fit the sound of the group the most. And I remember that was a funny day. I brought like all like the alto, the C, and the tenor to see which ones would fit the most, and just happened to be the C melody. And I also played it a bit. I used to live in New Orleans up until the pandemic, and me and another Syos artist, James Evans, have C melodies, and we played it together a few times. And haven't really played it much since then, but hopefully can get back on it. But maybe try Syos mouthpiece on it. Who knows?
Yeah, we do C melody mouthpieces. So yeah,
really?
if you want to go back to the C melody, we will work for a mouthpiece for you with great pleasure. So just let
No,
me know.
thanks. Yeah, for sure. Well, definitely. Yeah, it's fun. It's a interesting horn for anybody who hasn't tried them. They're very hard to keep in tune.
Yeah.
They're very hard to keep in tune. And mine isn't actually a busher. It's a stencil of a. I think it's either a stencil of a con or a stencil of a busher. So it's not even technically from anywhere. But that thing, after being on tour for 3 years, has definitely been through the ringer.
Yeah, so you talked about New Orleans and yeah, can you tell us a little more about the scene, the jazz scene there? Because yeah, it's really special. I was really impressed when I went to the city. Like it's really full of music and it's
It,
really
it's very easy to fall in love with that city because there's just music everywhere. There's so much music everywhere. Excuse me. And I moved there in 2016. I had left the Pokey band and was going transitioning out of a different city. So I was looking around and I chose New Orleans because there's so much music and there's so much. Um, I specialize in old jazz, and there's a lot of traditional jazz to be had there, of course. And it was great. It's definitely, it's different because like it's everywhere. It's all the bars and all the venues and private functions and Mardi Gras and all sorts of things. Like it's a very welcoming community, and it's a very open musical community, and everybody kind of plays with everybody. Whenever anybody's like, "Who do you play with?" I'm like we've all played together at some in some faction or the other. Like we've just all played together. Um, and through that community, I was able to find. So there's a group I have called Shake 'Em Up Jazz Band, and we're all women, and we all are women in the New Orleans jazz scene, and we kind of came together because we've all played together at some point, and there's a great um, thing called a girls rock camp that help support young girls to just do music and try music, and we got together for that one thing, and we're like, oh, this could be a this could be a fun band. And uh like what 3 years later we have 3 albums, and we've been overseas a few times, and um we've we've played jazz fest and all that stuff, and it's great. We were supposed to go to Italy this year again. We played the Umbria Jazz Festival a few years ago, and we were supposed to do it again. But yeah, I met all of them through there, and will forever be grateful for that. And just play, the scene is just it's bustling with a bunch of music. So much music everywhere. A lot of jazz everywhere. It's not all jazz everywhere, but it's definitely a lot of jazz everywhere. A lot more than a lot of cities.
so do you have a favorite club in New Orleans?
Oh, that's kind of hard. Um, Let me think on that for a second. I really loved. It wasn't so much a club; it was a venue. I really loved the New it's now called the New Orleans Jazz Historical Museum. It was originally in my mind it went by the Mint because a lot of old minted coins used to be there. But in their upper story they had this beautiful venue, and it's like all wooden, and like it's like feels like a nice little concert venue in the middle of the city. um like as much as I love like the casualness of the bar scenes, it was fun. Like it was kind of always a treat to play at the museum because it was like a proper show, and people sat down and came to listen instead of just drinking in the background, as in New Orleans is wont to do. But yeah, it was great, and they're really, and the people there are great because it's through the National Park Service, and I think it's the only national park service that has a jazz band, and
Mhm.
they always ask like people to come and play with them, and they're very very sweet people and very very encouraging about just the scene in general. And I've done some virtual stuff for them as well during this pandemic, and yeah, it was always a treat to play there. But there's great historical venues all around the city as well
Yeah.
that have been there. I played at the Spotted Cat so many times, so many nights, and I got to play at Preservation Hall a few times during festivals, and which is great because it's this tiny little box of a room. There's no air conditioning,
Mhm.
and there's no media allowed. There's just people sitting like 2 feet in front of
Yeah.
you, just like right there. But yeah, it was really, I'm very grateful for the years I was able to spend in New Orleans, and hopefully get to be back there at some point
Yeah.
to play. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope I can come back to. I really enjoyed this city.
I'm glad. I'm glad. What was the favorite place that you went there when you were there?
I don't know, but yeah, I like the Spotted Cat. It was nice. I see a lot of nice concert there,
Good, good. Yeah, there's
and
a lot
I
of great, great
yeah.
musicians there.
Yeah, and I liked what I don't remember the name, like music box or something really out of the city where you can experiment by with there are a lot of things where you can do music with, like
Oh,
just
cool.
yeah, that's a fun place to go.
Like interactive.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The music. I feel like I know what you're talking about. I actually didn't go
yeah, I
there, but
think
it is called the music
they
box.
organize also some shows there, but I
Yeah.
didn't really have much time when I was there, so I just find like 1 hour when I was free and
Yeah.
just
Oh.
went there. But
Oh.
yeah, it was nice. So we have Sebastian saying, "Hi Chloe, just wanted to say also I'm crazy about Radiohead and I really love your wonderful cover of My Hero."
Oh, thank you. That was a fun one to do as well. That one was just me and Scott on piano, and never got to do that one live, but always I really loved that. Was a fun video shoot as well. Thank you.
um, Yeah, I just wanted to know also if you have some. So, what are your projects for like the years to come? Do you have something to share with us about new things?
Unfortunately, at the moment, everything's
Yeah.
kind of on pause. I don't have any big grand plans. I have my own quartet. That we did some domestic tours in the States, and hopefully get to play with them. We've done a lot of virtual, or like a lot of the virtual concerts through this wonderful company called Tune Supply that's been wonderfully supportive of musicians through this pandemic. And we will be doing one for Valentine's concert this coming, obviously, on the 14th, and hopefully get to play with them again. Miss those guys for sure. And so maybe we have an EP out, and maybe we'll do a full album at some point. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's just hard to say at the moment what like
Yeah.
grand music plans, but hopefully, I hope to get to play with them and shake them up again very soon, because I miss everybody for sure.
Okay. Um, what can you tell me more about the music scene in California, where you are now, and when you grew up? What was?
Yeah, sure. I grew up in San Diego and Los Angeles somewhat, um, and kind of hard because that was that was a while ago, uh, to tell exactly what the scene is based off of that. But it was, let's see, it was definitely a little more like New Orleans is very relaxed, where LA is a little more high intensity. And because everything's kind of so far away from each other, it makes it like a little more crazy to get anywhere and to get to gigs. And like New Orleans, like 10 minutes away from everything, but LA, you have to plan out your day in advance. And um let's see, I was like I said, I started playing when I was 15, and it was through the jazz scene in San Diego, and they were very supportive. They're very, like, I had a CD that I made when I was 15 with everybody in the jazz scene in San Diego, and it was a very fun recording session. It was reel to reel on tape, and it was a very fun thing. And yeah, they were just very supportive. They let me and the swing dance scene, like, I play a lot of swing dances and, like I said, traditional jazz. So like there's a lot of overlap when it comes to certain things. And like all the festivals, there's a lot of like traditional festivals in Southern California specifically, that it kind of got me to where I am today because of, you know, asking to sit in with whatever band and just flopping on stage and doing it over and over again. And like when I moved up to LA, when my family moved up to LA early on, there's like a great, swing and trad scene out here. I used to be a part of groups called the California Feet Warmers and Dust Bowl Revival, way back in the day before they became the configurations that they are today. And they were amazing. They were very supportive, and we did all sorts of crazy stuff. Like through Dust Bowl, I got to do more of the obscure, just more of the wider venues in general when it came to LA. And it's really hard to pinpoint because my experiences with the city, or I was always kind of hopping in and out. When I was, I went to college in St. Louis and would come and fly back and do shows and do things in Los Angeles and go back and do stuff over there and come back and hop back and forth. So I was like kind of always just dipping my toes in the scene. Never really did it as an adult, a full adult. So, but I've there's a lot of like LA obviously has a lot of people to do a lot of wonderful things in general. So, not surprising that there's a big jazz scene, of course, and big traditional jazz scene. And just to know where to look and know where to once you get acquainted with the scene, you kind of know where to go and like know which venues are more heavily traditional versus modern. And and ever since touring with PMJ, I've known a lot more Los Angeles musicians, and like learning about the scene through them as well, which is great. But yeah, growing up, I definitely did a lot of not only just stuff in the jazz scene, but like youth symphony and musical theater, and pretty much anything that I could try and play, I would do. So a lot of just, hopping around from various different experiences throughout the city.
Okay, we have a question from Frederic. Would you ever consider doing a bilingual Italian-American album of pop hits?
Sure. Why not? I think it'd be fun. I don't speak Italian though. I wish I did. The one time I sang Italian was when we did Umbria Jazz Festival, and I did a Louis Prima song called Zuma Zuma, and it's in Sicilian, which really isn't, which is a different faction of Italian as well. But I do not actually speak Italian, unfortunately, despite my last name.
François is asking, what's your playlist actually? Like currently, I guess. Yeah.
My playlist.
What do you listen to?
Oh, what do I listen to?
Yeah, we say playlist in French. Yeah.
That's okay. I listen to all sorts of stuff. I'm really open to. I really like simple and pretty songs. I grew up like doing heavy jazz and studying jazz and things, but I really just kind of gravitate toward anything I can dance to, uh, which involves a very wide range of stuff, obviously. I love Irish music, I love Cajun music, I love, punk, I love pop and pop punk and rock and whatever I feel like. I love acoustic, like singer songwriter stuff. I like, um, yeah, just literally salsa, anything. I love all sorts of stuff. It's kind of hard to say. My Spotify library is very, very wide in terms of different styles and things. Yeah.
Did you discover like one artist that you really liked in 2020?
Ooh, that's a good question. No, I've actually been listening to more podcasts than music overall. So I haven't really been exploring a lot of newer artists. I've been kind of more doing the comfort thing where you just listen to things that you're used to, and but happy for any suggestions if people have suggestions. Feel
Yeah,
free to
people,
float them.
just give us your favorite song of 2020.
Oh, favorite song of 2020. That would be that's a bit difficult. um,
It's funny actually. I can just speak about my me. So I like a lot of indie rock music, and so the band I really liked in 2020 was a band called Muzz. So it's actually a guy from Interpol and another guy from the National, for people who like indie music. But and there are a lot of saxophone in
really?
that album. So I was like,
Um,
and yeah, every time I listen to saxophone on the radio, I'm always searching who is the saxophone player, and
yeah,
it was difficult to find. I couldn't find it
really.
anywhere, and I offered the CD to my father for his birthday. So then I got to finally saw who was the saxophone player inside the CD, and it was Stuart Bogie, which is a great saxophone player I actually met in New York last
That's
year. So
awesome.
that was funny to see. Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's really fun. Yeah, that's great.
that's my 2020 CD.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. We have a question from Suzanne.
Hi, Suzanne.
Yeah, she asked, "What reeds are you using on clarinet?"
I am using a Van Doren Blue Box 3. Yeah, those have been my standard of choice for most of my life.
Okay, so you never switch. You keep on the. You don't.
No,
You always play those ones.
yeah, for the most part,
Okay.
well, I think when I figured, like, I figured out my sound at an early age, and I stuck with it. I did not want to change. Didn't want to change. I didn't want to change it because there's so many wonderful like reeds and mouthpieces out there, and it's hard to not like it's hard to keep still and like keep not wanting to try out different things. And but I have mainly stuck with Van Doren Blue Box 3s for the most part.
Okay. So we have a question from. It's too complicated to.
Ooh, I don't know
Do you
Ada.
know Ada Pasternak?
She must have been before I joined. I joined at the end of 2016, early 2017 for PMJ. So anybody before then, I really didn't know, unfortunately. But
Okay.
yeah, I'll check her out.
Yeah. Hello is asking, have you any advice to practice both tenor saxophone and bass clarinet?
Wow, that's a cool one. Let's see. Just try not to mix up embouchures, even though they're a little more. They're obviously more similar than um than like the regular clarinet to saxophone. But just be wary because bass clarinet is still clarinet and requires a different support here and a different a different way how to control the air and stuff. So just be very wary. Always practice in front of a mirror to see if you're messing up. one of the best pieces of advice for me, especially when it came to clarinet, is to practice in front of a mirror so you can see if your hands are sticking up too far, if you're not covering the holes. With bass clarinet, it's a little bit different, but it still helps with embouchure stuff. You can definitely see if you're not doing it correctly.
Okay, and she had about the music. So if you want to discover new music, she's saying that you can try the French radio. It's called FIP, and yeah, they have a lot of different channels, and yeah, it's nice actually to discover new things.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for the tip.
I think let me check if we have something on Instagram, but I think we answer all the questions. So and Lo is saying, are you loser on your saxophone?
Looser.
Yeah.
Looser. Yeah. Yes.
Well,
In terms
yeah.
of embouchure, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more of an O shape than the clarinet shape, which is more like this. Chin down, corners in. But for saxophone, no, it's definitely more of an O shape. Keeping being aware of where the corners of your mouth are, what they're doing, if there's any air escaping, but but it is definitely looser on saxophone. Also depends on your mouthpiece too. Some my typical saxophone mouthpiece is super skinny, so I have to keep a tighter O. But yeah, for the most part, definitely looser.
Okay. Also, we have a new question from Mark. He said, do you have any fun stories about playing with asleep at the wheel?
Oh boy. There's yeah, I have there's great stories. I will say, let's see. When we played Austin City Limits, it was so hot. It was like afternoon and the sun was beating down, and I swear, like, I'm surprised that no one fainted. It was insane. It was just like completely just right in the sun the entire time. We were just all just sweating buckets. But that's an aside. We did a stadium in Fort Worth, Texas, and that was really fun. We opened up for George Jones, and we opened up, and it was my first time at least my first time remembering doing a stadium gig, and it was crazy. Like, I remember, like, it took forever to just walk from the green room all the way out to the stage and back, for the rehearsal and for sound check and things. And like, when it was our sound check, we were just seeing the lighting guys. We were seeing the lighting guys like fix one of the lights, and they're just you know slowly hauling up this light that's shaking above you like hundreds of feet in the air. It's like, what is happening? And it was also great because it was a stadium stage, but it was obviously in the middle of the stadium, so the stage was kind of like a circle in the round. And for anybody who's ever played a circle around, it's super fun because basically you can just run around the stage in 360 and just do all sorts of like silly shenanigans. And I had a wireless mic on my instrument, so I was the most mobile. So I, like, throughout the entire set, I was just hopping around to different musicians and like going out onto the sides of the stage. I think at one point me and one of the sound guys were dancing in the corner during the show. Like real just like, you know, trying to dance and like go back and like play the song, and it was really fun. Yeah. It was really fun. And yeah, it's a really fun band.
Nice story. Francois is asking, how long are you training each day?
Ooh, that's a good one. It varies. It varies depending on the day. Because I've been helping out. My mom has a bakery here in California, and so part of my weeks go to that. But yeah, sometimes it's an hour, sometimes it's 3, depending on the day. Sometimes it's none if you don't really feel like it, and that's okay too. Especially during a pandemic, it is okay to take some time.
Yeah, that's true. So like last question, what is your favorite place to play music, and what's your favorite city?
Wow, that's hard.
Complicated, yeah.
That's really hard. Wow, my favorite place to play music and my favorite place. I will say that. Hmm. Well, one of my favorite shows I ever did was at the Sydney Opera House. It was magical.
Mhm.
The acoustics in there were incredible. We had such a fun time on that stage, and I just remember like I was able to do a feature song in there, and it was surreal because, you know, it's the Sydney Opera House, but also just the place itself is a beautiful venue. It's truly, truly gorgeous. And that, and I also love the tiny little jam sessions that pop up in people's houses. Um, like those are some of my favorite. Like they're definitely some of the best musical moments that a lot of audience don't really get to see. And it's just, you know, it's like less pressure. If it's a true like get together jam, it's definitely like less pressure and like more about community and involvement and everybody just kind of playing off of each other, and it's lovely. Um, and what was the second part of the it was what
It
was
was the favorite city.
favorite city?
Yeah.
Favorite city? Oh, that's hard. That's really hard. Yeah, I would have to think on that one because I have a few that have always been lovely to play in. I mean, obviously New York is always fun. Um, and New Orleans, of course, is very fun as well. And there's been like various places around the world that have just been like, oh, this is like really fun. There's this like one tiny venue on the South Island of New Zealand that was a joy. It just depends. I don't know. It depends on what you're in the mood for that night.
Yeah,
But
true.
yeah.
Okay, maybe last one. So Laurie is asking, how do you choose between playing sax or clarinet in your music?
It depends. It depends. A lot of times, it will rely on the group and what they prefer, what the leader prefers, what the leader wants the sound as. For me, I gravitate more towards clarinet just because it's the one that I'm most proficient on nowadays. And I like the sound of it because it's not usually heard on everything, and so I try and add it as like an extra little element on things personally, but it really does depend on the group and the situation.
Mhm.
Very situational.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chloe.
Yeah, thank you everybody. I really appreciate it.
Maybe can you play just a little
Yeah, yeah,
clarinet before we go?
yeah. All right. Have a
Nice.
great day, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good day or good night, depending on
Yeah,
where you
right.
are in
Yeah,
the world.
good night. Yeah, for us, we're starting our day, so
Yeah. Sorry for waking up so early, but
it's all good. I'm happy to see you and happy to, be a part of this great company. So thank you.
yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, I hope to see you soon somewhere in the world. We
Likewise.
can, yeah,
It would be great to see you in person again.
yes. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye,
Thank you for joining
everyone.
us, and see you in 2 weeks. Bye bye.
Bye.